Hello friends, today what I'm going to do is quickly demonstrate how you can use Ufile Online for free to use it and prepare a self-employment return. Now, a couple of things that I need to disclose is that first and foremost, I work for Ufile. I enjoy my job. It's almost as if it's a hobby that earns me money. And I am the quality assurance manager at Ufile. Make sure that this program works. Now, using Ufile is a lot easier than you might think. And although it is a pay-per-use program, we do have a number of free offerings. And one of the free offerings is for people with lower than $20,000 worth of annual income. So by clicking here, if you don't have an account, you click on no, and if you do, you should click on yes. We'll create a new account. So the username will be 345 self-employed, and you can create a password, and Ufile will check to see if it's strong or not. And we have a suggestion as to how to create a strong password. If the password doesn't match, it'll notify you, and we'll use a fake Gmail account, or email account rather. And I would suggest that you sign up for the letters containing useful information, products and services, and promotional offers, so you keep in touch. Agree with the terms. Verify that you're not a robot. Cars. 1, 1, 2, and 3. Let's hope that worked. I'm not a robot. Apply. Ooh, my password didn't match. Okay, let's try that again. One more time. I had a funny feeling. Okay, I'm not a robot again. And traffic lights. Great. Crosswalks. Finally, I'm not a... And my... Ooh, case sensitive. Why am I having trouble? Okay. You can use a secondary email address if you want, and for a simple uh, demonstration, I'm just gonna use this as a security answer. Here's my account details, and I can start right away. We're going to be preparing a 2018 return. However, with Ufile, you can file for prior years as well. And if you have a simple Ufile T2 return, you can file it here as well. And let's go and launch. We're more or less ready to start. We can go straight to the interview or import an existing file. And we're going to be preparing a return for a fictitious taxpayer. And this is a fictitious social insurance number. However, there is validation, so if it's not valid, it won't work. And province of residence. Let's put Ontario. Ontario is up there. Here we go. Marital status single. We'll keep it simple. Uh, Gender is only mandatory for Quebec, but I tend to fill it out in any case. Once you click next, it's the equivalent to our save button. And now, put in a fictitious address. So far, so good. And a postal code. Great. You don't need to answer really these questions. Put in a phone number. And fill out the CRA questions. Language of correspondence. Was it your first time filing? Do you have foreign property with a cost of over $100,000? Did you sell your principal residence? Were you a diplomat? Oh. So now, if you had answered yes to this question, you wouldn't be entitled to the work income tax benefit or the climate action incentive credit. Do you have Canadian citizenship? Yes. And as a Canadian citizen, do you authorize the Canada Revenue Agency to give your name, address, and date of birth? Climate action incentive. Did we say this person was in the Ottawa, in that area? Why not? And CRA does encourage you to go online and get your notice of assessment online. Just for simplicity's sakes, I'm just going to put no to that question. And continue. Net e-file, yes if eligible. Will you be using NetFile to submit prior year federal return in the next 2 days? Let's say no. Next. Now we can go straight to the interview setup, because usually the autofill my return and Express NOAA, well, Express NOAA service, you can take advantage of it if you like, but autofill my return is usually for people that have tax slips. And interview setup. In interview setup, you should click on self-employed business. And when you click on the next button over here, you will see the self-employment tab appear. So, did we click on self-employment? Yes, we did. And here is your self-employment income. Now, T4, let's put in a fictitious T4 as well. Let's say we worked at No Frills, part-time, made some money. Province of employment is Ontario. This is a fictitious amount of CPP and EI premiums. And let's put $1,300 of income tax deducted at source. EI insurable earnings should match my employment earnings, and CPP insured pensionable earnings should match as well. Okay, that's my T4. Let's say after I quit No Frills, or I was let go, I had some unemployment insurance. And after collecting regular benefits, I decided to go at it on my own. We have different types of businesses you can create. Professional if you're an accountant or a lawyer. Commission if you're a commission salesman, real estate agent. We're just going to do a regular business here. A very simple return. And select the address to use. Let's use the same address as on the return. Business name. And we started in September and fiscal year end is December 31st. Likes. And wholesale trade, retail trade, use that button there and say non-store retailers or miscellaneous. There you go. And florist, pet, art dealer. I like art dealer. And other miscellaneous. There you go. Products, let's say gadgets, 100%. Type of ownership, sole proprietorship. Federal account number if you have one. GST registration number of your business if you have one. We're assuming this is the first year of business and the sales do not exceed 30,000, so there's no GST to take into consideration. And let's go, we finished the identification section. Just here, let's go to income and expenses. Tick if it's the first year of operations. Let's tick that and put in sales of, let's say, 19,500. We didn't do so badly. Just for the sake of keeping things simple, we won't do any adjustments or the cost of goods sold. We'll go straight to advertising and other expenses and put in expenses. Some meals. And entertainment. We bought some hockey tickets for our clients. Insurance. And business tax. Office expenses. Some accounting. And this is an office in the home, more or less. But let's say he also had an office. No, let's not say that. Let's say he did pay though an assistant some money. And what else? What else? These are partnership expenses. No. Let's do some motor vehicle expenses. Yeah, why not? So he had a purchased vehicle, or she rather had a purchased vehicle. Business expense, model, Civic, Honda, purchase date, and adjusted cost base of the vehicle. This class 10 at 30%. Undepreciated balance, let's say at the time that the business started, was worth that much. Accelerated investment incentive property, it's certain properties that were bought in a given period of time. After November 2018, the government instituted this for 2018 to ensure we're competitive with our American colleagues or American friends south of the border. Let's say that doesn't apply. Disposition, motor vehicle expenses. But before we get to motor vehicle expenses, make sure you put your kilometers. That will tell you how much of your vehicle's expenses are attributable to business income. It will prorate. So of the 20,000 kilometers that she drove, 19,000 were for business. So that will guarantee that a good chunk of the expenses belong to as business expenses. Maintenance, well, took a big hit there. Insurance premiums, she had good coverage. License and registration, again, this is a fictitious amount. Parking, great, we're good. Office in the home, why not? Now, unused portion of the home expenses carried forward from the prior year, if we couldn't use a portion of them. And portion of the home used for personal purposes, let's say that would be 97%. If the home is also used by your spouse, no. Heat. Let's say heat is expensive, so is electricity. Insurance, so bad. Maintenance and repairs though, 1,700 there. Mortgage, just bought the property. Property taxes, telephone, and if you want to add other expenses, you would go there and go for it. And let's also say that we have not labor costs, but CCA on some equipment worth about equipment ABC. Opening balance would be 54. Now, in the first year that you depreciate most depreciable assets, you take the half-year rule. I'm not taking that into consideration, just for simplicity's sakes. Should be allocated would be business level, and they purchased the property portion of CCA. Let's put that at, for business purposes, at 100%. If it's lower, you put lower. Purchase date of the property. Okay, that's pretty much it for this asset. You can certainly add other assets. So provided my income is less than 20,000, I would be able to claim a free return using Ufile. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to add some more expenses. And or should we add some expenses? Well, let's say legal fees or some lawyer consultation fees here. And it looks good. All right. So now the next step would be to review your work, and Ufile has a great review tab feature. Right off the bat, we're entitled to, we know our refund amount, and in the messages there is a warning to go click here to get your ON Ben application done. And this is political contributions. Here's your ON Ben application. Yes, I elect to have the OTB benefit. Applying for the energy credit, why not? Live in a principal residence in Northern Ontario, say no. I'm not a senior. Skip this question. And no for, well, claim there. Really doesn't apply. All right then. And if we just scroll down, go back here to the Ontario credits and go for homeowners, so we can put in our street, apply for this credit. Number of months, 12. That should do the trick, I think. Let's say Ottawa. 7,500. No to that question, and 900 there. Let's go back to the review tab. That message should have disappeared by now. Looks good. And federal, my net income is only 5,515. That should entitle me to a free tax return. Now the beauty about Ufile Online is you can view your tax return, unlike other competitors, online before you even PDF it. Accept. And voila, here's my return. Now this condensed return is what I would send to the government. You would download to PDF and then print it to save it and mail it. But what I recommend is actually, once you're satisfied that the review is done, it's great, you can go ahead and net file it and get your refund in 2 to 3 weeks. I can't guarantee that, but more or less that's how much time it takes. Somebody's playing Team Fortress, great. Here is the most lucrative credit that you're getting back, work income tax benefit, $1,059. And basically, since you're at a loss, your non-refundable tax credits exceed your tax. You're practically getting everything back that was deducted at source. Another example of a refundable credit would be the refundable medical expense supplement, and how you would enter that in Ufile would be go to the interview section, click on medical, click here, enter the date that you incurred the medical expenses, and let's say I had a big dental bill of $3,000. Oops, 3,000. Great. Click on next. Remember, next is your save button, and all of a sudden, if I go straight to tax return, I'll see that now my refund has greatly increased because I'm of the amount of medical expenses I'm entitled to $708 back because of my low income. And by double clicking on the cell, it takes you to the source calculation in this work chart. This is how that credit was calculated. You can drill down online. It was just great. This functionality is beyond anything that exists right now. Excellent technology. Also, the last step would be to go to NetFile. I'm not going to actually do it because this would actually send the return to the CRA. Click on Ready for Filing, and you're pretty much done. You'll also get a acknowledgement report and confirmation number from here once everything's done. So that's pretty much it. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I appreciate everyone that's using Ufile to do their tax returns, and I value each and every client greatly. Thanks.